Hey guys, it's been a couple weeks since the last video that we had, mostly due to the fact that the weekly videos were getting kind of short with things that I was doing, especially if it was a rough week in figuring things out. So I decided to move these to a monthly check-in type deal. So we'll just kind of go through some of the things that I did over the past month and take a look at some of those items. One of the things that we got done was we added in opening cinematics.
This is a war without end. A war against two enemies. And the cost will be high. In this crusade against the sun-cursed Elios and the hated Balar, you will lose friends. But you're a Deva of Asmodee, and your duty is your life. You were born to fight this war. For eternity, for Asmodee.
You won't escape.
There was some delay in the sound about halfway through. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. We'll try to get that fixed in future
as an immortal
updates.
Who walks and flies in the shadow of Asfel.
As you can see, the video is finished. Audio is still going, but we're on the choose class. We updated this to be a choose class screen versus a choose your character screen. Mainly because you're really just choosing a class here. You're not actually picking a character to play. But they all still have the same information. So we'll just go ahead and we'll choose one at random. One of the other things you'll notice is we now have an opening quest. And we also have a quest dialogue system. So this, right now, will be the only NPC that I have that gives out quests. I do plan on expanding that to be additional people who you can interact with and have quests given. Currently, the cancel button does not do anything, but the accept button will take us into our quest. Same quest as before. I think we just updated the music. Did not change the background yet. One of the things we did add is a mulligan. So if let's say you didn't like your hand, you could click mulligan, draw a new hand, but it's only once per hand. So there is that. For testing purposes, I have all their health set really low, just so that way we can get through some things. We have the quest system in place where it'll let you know what is going on, and you have to kill 4 of these guys. And then now when it's our turn, you can see we get a draw option here instead of just having to guess that you have to draw. And then it goes back. Now, because we've already mulliganed once, we can't mulligan again. Up here, you'll see we have our health, our mana, and we now have our turn counter. Up here as well, we have an experience bar down here that's new, as well as our in-turn button. I'm debating on having the health and mana show the actual value of health and mana as well, not just the percentage. I did have it show available health / full health, but that was getting to be a bit crowded. So what I'm thinking it might do is display like 100%, 80% for a while, then switch it over to what the actual health is, and then back and forth. So just have it kind of alternating back and forth between what is shown here. Go ahead and finish this off so we can find so I can show off the last quest. We do have leveling. I don't have a place to see your current level, but we did just level up. You see our health and went back up to full. Currently what is happening is, depending on however many enemies are left, it just kind of deals some random damage based on the number of enemies when our turn is over. So like right now, because there's no enemies, nothing will happen, but I only have one turn left, so like after this turn I will take a random amount of damage. We've now completed the quest, but we still have one enemy left to take down, so let's go ahead and do that. And there we go. You'll notice nothing popped up here because the quest was already completed. And then now we have the end quest end, where you can see how much XP you gained, how much money you've made, and then the items that were dropped during that playthrough, during that match. You will be able to pick 2 currently. Nothing happens. I do want there to be little icons to kind of show what they are. There is a shop and a done button. Shop does nothing, but done will take us back here to our map. Once here, it shows you where you are. Like this little dot down here, and we can choose to go to one of these next 2 quests. If I click on one, you'll notice a little thing pops up. Our little icon moves to where we are, and it shows little grayed out icon there to be this is where we've been. Then I can accept this quest, and it'll move us into the next quest that we have. So we did get all of that stuff in. One of the things I did have is as you level up and get stronger, your cards will actually pull from the character's strength. Don't know if it'll work on this hand. Yeah, I think it's still showing just the base value, which is fine. I don't think I've fully implemented it for everyone yet. And this one is a random drop, so the enemies will randomly drop something depending on, there is a variable that they have that they can drop, and if you are in that chance window, it will. There we go. So we're at 3 of 5. So we're gonna go ahead and heal up, and then take out this guy. So we're at 4 of 5. We need one more, and there it is. We got that last one, and boom. And then once we're done with this, same thing. We can choose up to 2 items. We can click done. We can choose our next quest here. One of the things I was able to do was with the cards, we updated it to just look at values. So this looks at your strength, and what strength pulls is your player's minimum and maximum. So if we look at a player card, the strength is 40, so it'd pull from that. If we look at a warrior, it's 50, and it pulls from that. I don't think I've added the strength multiplier stuff yet on XP game, but this would be, your strength would go up by this much, your magic would go up by this much, and then HP and mana would go up by their own set values every level. We did add in a mage, priest, scout, and warrior status cards. So that this way, whenever something, like when we do those level ups, it'll use these values to determine what needs to be impacted. We obviously have a fully functioning game loop that goes from title screen to opening cinematic to choose your class to opening quest and then choosing your quest. That was all finished out. Healing and mana potions both work. We've also changed the way the deck is handled. Originally, we did a 50 card deck that would be generated at the beginning of the battle, and you would just pull through the deck as you played. We've now changed it to be less intensive. So what it does is it now generates 10 cards, 3 of which are item cards, which are your mana potions, your healing potions, and your bandages. It'll generate 3 cards from that stack. And then the remaining 7 cards come from the class set. So your normal and then skill cards, it pulls 7 of those, shuffles them up, and then randomly picks 5, and then the remaining 5 get thrown out. And that happens every time we draw a hand. To keep it from trying to store 50 cards, it was also a nice relief on the system because it didn't have to generate so much information at the beginning. We started on the loot system, so the way that is actually handled is right here on the enemies. You'll see we have their name, what items they can drop, what quests they can appear in, and then their different animations we moved here as well. So their idle, their death, their taunt, everything's been moved here. Different items that they can drop upon the end of battle, and it's also class specific. So if you're playing a mage class, you won't see anything that you can't equip. So you won't see any chain, you won't see any plate, and you won't see any leather. If you're a ranger class, you'll see both leather and cloth. If you are a priest class, you will see chain and leather. And then if you are a warrior, you'll see plate and chain, keeping it to the 2 best equipment items per character, just that way it makes the most sense. You notice that we have the map with the new icons, so we're able to now see where we are, see where we've been. I'm debating on having lines to kind of show you where you can go, but it'll also have a pop-up on the screen if you click on a place you're not allowed to go to, just to kind of let you know that, hey, you're not allowed to go to this quest just yet. We also updated some of the XP percentages. Still trying to dial that in to be exactly what we need for leveling purposes, because again, there are something in the neighborhood of 26 available quests in the starter area, where I believe we determined that only something about 20-ish or so were entirely necessary. So if you're in spot 1-1, you can only go to 1-2, 1-3. If you're here, you can go to 1-2 or 1-4. And they all have tying quests between them. So if I go look at a quest, let's say I'm on quest 119, it has all of the different things that you need to do. And then the next quest you could take on would be either 118 or 120, depending on how you got to 119. The reason it's like this is, let's say you go from 1-1 to 1-2, and then go to 3, 4, 5, so 1-6. So you went this route and you wanted to get back over here and do a couple of these other quests, you would be able to, because 1-3 and 1-5 would be listed as available under next quest. But this 1-4 here would not be, because you had not been close enough to that quest to be able to take it on. So you would have to do either 1-3 or 1-5 before you could take on 1-4. And that has been about it for the month of January. So biggest things that we got done were the questing system, and then the loop. My next big thing is I'm going to start working on debuff, buff, and crowd control cards. That way you'll be able to root enemies so that they can't attack next turn, or make them weaker, make yourself stronger. Anything like that that would allow for a bit more strategy in your gameplay, as well as being able to store and pull some of the action points that you get forward to the next round. I think we're going to cap it at a total of 6 action points. So if you want, you would be able to play like 1 or 2 cards and then bank 1 to 2 action points and then have those available next turn. We're going to probably chop off this 6 quest area here into essentially a demo, so that way I can get it out, get it tested, and see what people think, as well as figuring out the exact number of quests needed to get to level 9, so that way you can do the Ascension quest. Currently, it's looking like it's 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and then 26 would be the one you do at level 9. We may expand that out to take in a couple of the other ones that weren't listed, depending on how much XP we think we need, with some things being random like item drops and enemy spawns. Sometimes you may see them really fast and get it really done real quick. Other times it may be a minute before you even see or get the item. So I'll have to take like almost like an average of that through a number of playthroughs, so that way we can determine what a good number of XP is to get to 9. So that way we're here without forcing the player to run through all 26 quests. I do want them to be available if someone wants to come back and do them, but I don't feel like saying you have to complete all 26 just to leave, I guess, 25 and then take on the Ascension quest would be the best option. But that is everything I've got for this month. Taking a short little break from dealing with this for right now. I'm probably going to be working on the VPET project for a little bit. I want to try to get that done, so that way we can have that available when we stream, have our little VPET out on screen so people can come in and start taking care of it. I've also picked up doing some pixel art, trying to learn that aspect of things. So I've been putting up daily pixel art on a website called Pixel Art under Lowkey Trickster. I will post a link in the description if you guys are interested in going and seeing that stuff, and kind of joining me on my learning journey of how to do art, both pixel art, shading, coloring, all of that stuff. Sometimes I feel really good about it. Other times I sit there and I struggle to conceptualize what I would like to do. So yeah, it's not really something that I'm used to working in, so we'll see how that goes. Thank you all for watching this one and joining me on this journey of turning Aion from MMO into card game. If it is something that you're interested in, please follow along. You can do that by following the channel, even coming over to our Twitch and watching the live streams as we build the game out over there. It's also me learning not only to turn this into a card game, but love 2D and Lua as well. So if those things are interesting to you, we would love to have you over there. Thank you all, and I'll see you in the next one.